Right, there's a lot of crying, wailing, and whinging coming from the usual quarter about the lengthy sentences given out to some members of far left terrorist group, and that's what they are, Just Stop Oil. Now, they've received 4 to 5 years each for what they did, and what they did wasn't your usual protest. Now, if it was a usual protest, if they were just stood by on a pavement quietly with a flag or banners, and they weren't hindering people with their lives, getting on with their lives, and they received these sentences, then I'd have something to say about it. That wouldn't be right. Everyone has a right to protest in this country. But if you're going to do it, bother the politicians, not people who are finding it hard to live as it is. Life is hard. Things aren't easy for regular people like you and me. And the last thing we need are these out-of-touch, middle-class idiots stopping us going where we need to go. And that's what they did. By stopping traffic, gluing themselves to the roads, walking ridiculously slow in front of traffic, they prevented people from getting jobs, going to job interviews. Emergency services were prevented from delivering patients to hospitals. People were late for life-saving cancer treatment, which was then put back months and years. The police had to deal with them instead of real crime. People were even late for job interviews, which are crucial for putting food on the table, supporting your family. People couldn't get to funerals, people missed flights. A HGV driver was unable to deliver £5,000 worth of food to a hospital. School students were delayed for their mock exams. And this is all from the judge's own summing up in court. And he was spot on when he said, and I quote, "And your fanaticism makes you entirely heedless of the rights of your fellow citizens. You have taken it upon yourselves to decide that your fellow citizens must suffer disruption and harm, and how much disruption and harm they must suffer simply so that you may parade your views." End quote. Sums them up perfectly. And that's not even everything, all the damage they've done. And the list goes on. These people were domestic terrorists, basically, because they terrorised the public. They targeted Joe Public, the average man and woman on the street, with what they did, and they didn't care. Now, the founder of Just Stop Oil, he had 5 years, and the rest of them got similar sentences. But one person who should be joining them is Chris Packham. And he should be there because he incited these people to do what they did. Along with the founder, he has a responsibility here. He is a well-known public figure, he is influential. And when he did that advert where he told these people to break the law because he'd be fine with it, then surely that's incitement. But was he there joining them when he disrupted people's lives? Of course not. He didn't want his hands dirty, did he? And he couldn't spend a few years in jail. Nah, not him. Get the useful idiots to do it instead, and they did. And this is how completely out of step they are, and out of touch with regular people and common sense. The mother of one of these lunatics, she made a speech calling for her daughter to be let out of prison for one day to attend her brother's wedding. I mean, good Lord. Now, prisoners are allowed to go and attend close family relatives' funerals, but that is at the governor's discretion, and if they've behaved, even that can be taken away from them. So it just shows the level of otherworldly lack of common sense. These middle class, I mean, they're fools. They really are stupid people. I mean, can you imagine how many cancer patients missed their appointments and had it delayed for a long, long time afterwards because of these people had to endure cancer and even the chemotherapy later on. And chemotherapy isn't easy. And it's all because of these people. People have suffered because of these people. These people are terrorists. And if you ask me, I think the judge was too lenient on them. Personally, I'd have made them go to work in a plastic factory somewhere or an oil refinery as part of a community sentence when they come out. And as for Chris Packham, the police really should be knocking on his door. And he should be made to serve their sentences beside them. He really should. What a coward. I mean, to scare people, into climate alarmism and then incite them into doing these things. He's like the climate alarmist movement's version of Bin Laden, if you ask me. And yeah, I'm serious. And if you're not angry about these people, well, think. What if that was someone you love, someone close to you, who desperately needed to go to hospital for treatment, emergency treatment, or who desperately wanted to get their cancer treatment over and done with because the chemotherapy is just too much. And yet it's delayed because of these sausages. It's not right, is it? And I am fed up with the public, normal people, being caught in the crossfire or being targeted, and ultimately made to pay the price because the government and these eco-lunatics just can't see eye to eye. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.